And I don't know that there's much for you to do with it at this point in time, but I'm going to give you some information. Can't manage what you don't know, right? So I had Emily put this on as the state of fair lending. And I'll start with this. Fair lending is not going anywhere, but there's a pendulum swing in some efforts to push to the side some things, at least for the time being. And I don't know if you caught it or not, but of the, I don't know how many executive orders that President Trump has signed, that it's wow, so many of them. But he signed one on April 23rd, and it's called Restoring Equality and Opportunity, and I'm murdering this word, meritocracy. Not good with that. Anyway, long story short, what's behind it? The elimination of disparate impact theory and liability. And now you go, it makes a lot of people gasp when you talk about that. Really, they're going to kill that off? It would appear at the federal level, that's what they're trying to do. And I don't know that. I'll try to read the quote. So it's the policy of the United States to eliminate the use of disparate impact liability in all contexts to the maximum degree possible to avoid violating the Constitution. Now, keep in mind, this is not a new law. This didn't go before Congress. This is the president signing an executive order. These things come and go, by the way, and the next president could sign an executive order to kill off this one. In fact, that's what Trump's doing with several of the other ones. They're overriding previous or doing away with them. The idea behind this order is, and I'm going to borrow some words that I read somewhere else, but equality of opportunity, not equal outcomes. Individuals should be treated based upon their merit and effort, not things like race, sex, ethnicity, and those types of things. There will be no more presumption of illegal discrimination based solely upon different outcomes. Again, back to merits and effort, not so much race, sex, and ethnicity. Now, this does not kill off and do away with prohibited basis characteristics. And I'm going to come with a takeaway here in a moment of where you need to be. But that was April 23rd. Well, what was interesting is about a week before that, the CFPB put out an interesting memo that caught my attention. I'm not sure how many others it caught, but basically they said, hey, we're no longer going to do fair lending, specifically redlining and bias, based upon statistical evidence or stray remarks. If you've been to one of our fair lending programs before, we talk about stray comments in loan files, and when the statistics indicate that while you might not be outright discriminating on purpose, intentionally, overt if you will, but if your statistics tell another story, it can get you in trouble. The CFPB says, no, we're not doing it that way. We are only going to go after actual intentional discrimination, illegal discrimination, with actual identified victims. Okay, now keep in mind, again, this is the CFPB. Yes, this statement, this executive order is going to trickle its way into the FDIC because they're putting the leaders there. It's going to trickle into the Federal Reserve and the other regulatory agencies as well. So what does it mean for all of you? Well, here's the big takeaway. Stay the course. It's an executive order. They come and go. This is a pendulum swing. In a mere 3.5 years, okay, things could change and it could swing back the other way. And there could be an executive order that says, hey, welcome back, disparate impact theory, and we have it. There's also a statute of limitations with most fair lending that's kind of at that 5-year mark. So it goes before and beyond the leadership time frame that we're currently working with here with the president and the CFPB. This order only affects disparate impact, overt discrimination, and disparate treatment live on. The shift, this pendulum shift we're talking about, is only at the federal level. States have been, basically, if you've listened to what Trump and the leaders have said, that they're trying to get the federal government out of regulating banks. They want to give it back to the states. And so alignment with this executive order or not, because it's federal, not state, is going to likely depend on the red-blue status of your state. Just in the last week, we've seen New York and Pennsylvania all already chime in and say, hey, we're in the consumer protection game here. We are not going to pull our guard down. We're not going to pull back. We're going to keep the foot on the gas pedal. So the alignment with this is going to depend on what your state's going with there and the leaders. There's still civil liability risks that you have to be concerned about. There's several Supreme Court decisions that don't get done away with because of this, and years of case law. So private individuals still can bring lawsuits under these orders.